Okay guys, so we are going to work on this this tumbler. This is a 30-ounce duo, I believe. No, this is just a 30-ounce. This is just a 30-ounce mug from Crafthaven. I have painted it black, and I just painted it with acrylic paint. Again, because the wind is blowing 1,000 miles an hour outside. So what we're going to do is we are actually going to we're going to use the tack it method. I'm going to use Mr. Fancy Pants. I'm going to put a couple of coats on there, let it dry, and then we're going to go in with Makerflow glitter. So you guys hear me talk about Makerflow cups all the time. This time I'm actually going to use Makerflow glitter. If you guys have not used their glitter, it's amazing. This is a holographic glitter, and it's called High Voltage. So, and it's a really pretty purpley glitter. So, that's what we're going to do there. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take, and I've got all the parchment down here because I make a huge mess every time I use glitter. So, and you guys are going to hear my little, I have my phone on watching TikTok live while I'm doing this. So, but you're just going to put on, and you can use Mr. Fancy Pants. You can use this tacky pants, or you can use the tack it over and over. Either one. You want to make sure with either one that you get your glue on your cup just as smooth and as straight as you can get it, because with some of these, especially when you're doing the tack it method and you're using a holographic glitter, you can see the streaks if there's streaks in it. So you just want to make sure that it's just as smooth as possible. So we'll just get this put on here, and then we'll let this coat dry, and then we'll put another coat. I know a lot of people only use one coat, and I have only used one coat before. I just think it does so much better if you use two coats. So I'm not diluting this with anything. I poured it straight out of the bottle into a little, you know, bathroom medicine cup thing. So it's not diluted. It's not, nothing like that. And this is a cup that I had done like an alcohol ink on, that I didn't like the way it turned out, so I just stripped it, and it's like some of my paint wasn't completely dry, but we'll live. It'll be okay. But anyway, I had done just an alcohol ink cup on this, or alcohol ink drip on this one. And I just didn't like the way it turned out, so I just sanded it down really well. It only had one layer of epoxy on it, so I just sanded it down really well, and I'm going to repurpose it. I hate stripping cups with a passion, so if I can just reuse them, I will reuse them. Right there is where I got my black paint at. And this now, I will say, this tacky pants, it dries a lot faster than tack it over and over. So here we go. I'm just making sure that I'm getting this bottom really well. And I like the tacky pants because it goes on, you know, when you put it on a black base like this, you can actually see it. So there we go. So there's our first layer. So we'll let that dry, and I'll come back, and I may do the second layer off camera, but I'll go ahead and get the second layer done, and then we'll come back and get the glitter on and get it burnished. Okay guys, we are back and our cup is dry. That took, I've put another coat on it. That took about 15 minutes. So it's nice and tacky. And I wanted to show you the vinyl that we're going to be putting on this cup. It is gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. This is from Bright Swan Vinyl. And I actually have a code down in the description for some moolah off. So we're going to be using this vinyl with this cup. So I thought the purple and the, you know, the purple pinkish would go really well with that. So let's get to the glitter part of our tumbler. So tack it method, we're just going to sprinkle this on. And y'all, I make a humongous mess every single time I use glitter. So that's why I've got so much parchment paper laid down. And I'm going to really try this time to keep all the glitter on the parchment paper. Oh my gosh, this is so pretty. I love, love, love the tack it method because depending on if I'm using epoxy or bright tone, they're both easy to epoxy over. Or bright tone over, whatever I decide to use. I did find out I'm only allergic to one epoxy, so that's a good thing. And you want to make sure you get the handle really well, the inside of that handle too. So the handle's always where I have the biggest issue because I forget all the little nooks and crannies of the handle. Alright, and we're just gonna kind of tap that off, y'all. Look at this before I do the burnishing. Let me see. I can't ever get my lights right. Y'all see me fiddle with my lights every single time. Look at that. How pretty that is. So you're just going to, I use my finger. You can use your finger, you can use a gloved finger, you can use I've seen people use like coffee filters and stuff like that. And you're just going to rub this glitter into the cup. So this is what they call burnishing. So you just rub this glitter into the cup really well. And you're going to have a lot of excess come off. And I'm going to see if I can show you the difference between, I don't know if you'll be able to tell on camera or not, but see if you can tell the difference between where it's burnished and where it's not. You just want to make sure you rub that in really, really well. You're basically rubbing that glitter into the glue. So I don't know if you can tell. Well, yeah, you can a little bit, but this is where it's burnished and this is where it's not. So either way, it's gorgeous. So whether or not you want to, I mean, you could leave it on there just like it is and it's really pretty. And it's such a fine glitter that it wouldn't be hard to epoxy over anyway, but I like the look of the tack it method, so that's what I'm going with on this one. And I kind of just wanted to have a flat, this is where it gets hard, and y'all aren't going to see this, see me do this part, because it's, and it is messy. It is messy to do the tack it method. Just, I mean, my hands. Just make sure you get all around that handle again and all the nooks and crannies. And by the time you're done, this should be pretty smooth. Get your bottom really well. And again, you can use gloves, you know, if you don't like the glitter all over your hands and all that drama. I just kind of get in there with everything. And I told you, I make a mess everywhere. I mean, there's glitter everywhere. But there is our burnished tumbler. And I don't know if you can see the holographic in it, but it is just so pretty. So what we're going to do with that vinyl, I'm gonna get a coat of epoxy over this. And what we're going to do with that vinyl is we're going to kind of swish it around like this way. So there's the bottom, but it's kind of a purple, pink, blue. I mean, I even see teal in there shift. So it's just really pretty. But we'll get a coat of epoxy on this, and I'll come back and we will get that vinyl put on there, and we will actually, the only other steps we have left is to put on the vinyl and stripe it, and another coat of epoxy, and we'll be done. So we'll get that done, and I'll be back to show you the vinyl. Okay guys, we have our cup. Let me move this one out of the way. We have our cup. I only had to do one coat of epoxy on it. So that's what we ended up with there. So we are going to actually clean this rim real quick before we do the vinyl. That way it's ready for the next coat of epoxy. So what I do, is I just take my craft knife and I just kind of go around the rim to get off that extra epoxy. Make sure your craft knife is sharp when you do this. It's really hard to do if it's not sharp, and you could cut yourself, so just be very careful. So you just go around the rim here, and you can I also use a Dremel to do this. So you can do that too. And with the Dremel, what I do is, here, I'll show it to you. I go ahead and get all the epoxy off the inside when I use the Dremel. And my Dremel, this needs to be changed. It's getting kind of dull. But this is my Dremel, and it's just got the, I forget what this is called, the sandpaper wheel. And I just go around the edge like this. And see, this one's really dull. I really need to put a new one on here. But you just go around the edge of the cup just like that. But since mine is dull and my Dremel needs to be charged, you can also use sandpaper. And you just want to go around this rim and just get off just a tiny little bit of the top, just so your next coat of epoxy has something to attach to. You want that good seal. You see, I hold it at kind of a 45-degree angle and just go around the top there. So, and that's really it. Then I just take some alcohol and kind of spray it on. And I don't know if you'll be able to see this on camera or not, but you can see that little bit of rim I exposed there. So that's how we get our tumbler ready. And this is just 220 grit sandpaper. Actually, or sanding block. Actually, this is 120. 220 is better to use. That's what I had handy right here, and that's what I thought that was, but you just want to go around and clean that off. So let's get our vinyl ready. And remember, we're using this really pretty vinyl from Bright Swan. And there actually is a discount code below for her. Her vinyl is amazing, and she has pretty much anything that you can think of in a vinyl. She has vinyl, she has tumbler wraps. I love the tumbler wraps. Just because it's super easy. If you don't do sublimation or you don't have a sublimation printer, the vinyl wraps are super easy to put on, and I'll actually do a tutorial on those. I'm about to get my order from her, and I ordered a ton of the vinyl wraps. So I'm going to actually do a little video unboxing of those vinyl wraps, and then we'll do a tutorial, and we'll probably do a couple of cups with the vinyl wraps, because I got some really cute ones and I'm super excited. But again, there is a discount code for her in the comments below. She is in Canada, but the shipping is really, I mean, the shipping's fast. It's just like any other place. So if you're in the US, then you'll still get it. You'll still get it pretty quickly. And I also love this. So if I buy a vinyl from her that I love, I keep, because this is on the bottom of the vinyl, so I keep it so I know that if I want to order it again. And I'll put like a little note on the back or whatever telling me what it is, and I'll keep it in case I ever want to order it again. So what we're going to do with our vinyl, and you've seen me do this in previous videos, we're going to fold this in half diagonally. And we're just going to cut down the middle of this. And with this cup, I'm not sure if I need half of one or a quarter of one. So I'm going to cut down the middle diagonally first. And I really want to use this side that has the blue on it. So what we're going to do is actually... Okay, so I have my cup sitting on the cup cradle, just with the handle down, just so, this is just to give me a, to kind of tell me where the back is of the cup, because I'm not doing anything with that handle. So, by the way, you do want to make sure that your glitter or whatever you've put on here is smooth, because it will show. If it's not smooth, it will show through the vinyl. So, there's our little triangle. And I did only have to cut this in one section. But I'm just going to start with the corner of the vinyl up there and just kind of wrap it around. And I want to get that little point right there as even with that handle as I can. So I try a couple of different ways here. So there we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tape. This makes it a little bit easier. Y'all, I've got something stuck in my throat today. Makes it a little bit easier to keep it on there straight, so. Alright. So I'm actually going to tape that on the other side. Whoops. If I can get the tape off my finger, goodness. I'm just taping it on the other side. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, and it's already kind of pulled up for me a little bit there, I'm just going to cut off that little knobby knob there. And you can cut off this excess vinyl if you want to. I normally don't, just because I know that it's gonna be cut off anyway, so I'm gonna pull that up a little bit. Let me get my little, then I get my little squeegee. And you can do this with your fingers, you can do it with a squeegee, doesn't matter. And I'm just going to kind of push that vinyl off of that backing. I do it with a squeegee because it's easier for me, because then I don't have to worry about bubbles or anything like that. And again, I know that that's going to be cut off, so. Alrighty. And it's super crooked, so we're going to do that again. We got it. So we're going to cut this bottom part off. But there is our cup. And I'm actually going to trim this, so it'll be straight. So let's cut off that bottom part real quick. That's our wrapped cup. Okay, so what we're going to stripe this with is this is just foil striping. You can get these at PDB Creative Studio, which I have a link for below. You can get them at Foils and Flakes. You can get them off Amazon, although I did buy a few of these off of Amazon, and I would not recommend getting them off Amazon. If you're going to buy vinyl striping tape, get it from a reputable company. That stuff on Amazon will not stick. As soon as you put it on, it just comes right back up. And they have little holders, like that help you with the, here, I'll show you one. Let me grab one real quick. I'll show it to you. So they help you with the striping, with putting the striping tape on. I don't like using these, so that's what that is. I just don't like using them. For me, it's easier to control with just doing it this way. There is our striping. So you can see that. That's a piece of glitter that was on my mat that I should have cleaned. It stuck to my cup. I got it. But there's our cup. So our next step is actually, and I think I am going to actually stripe all the way down this. I think I would like the way it looked if I striped all the way down it. Our next step on this cup is going to be to throw another coat of epoxy on here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some Nikki's Secret Sauce in that epoxy from Mr. Fancy Pants. To give this cup some sparkle in the where the vinyl is, and it'll also give that little tack it part that we did a little bit of sparkle as well. It just gives it a little bit of like depth, and it looks really, really pretty. Okay, yeah, I like that better. So I like that better. So we went ahead and just striped there. Anyways, I like it better. And I lied, our next step is not that. I will show you our next step. We are going to seal the striping tape, because if you don't, there is like a 90% chance that this little tape, this little gold that I used, where is it? These little ones like this, they will peel up. See how thin that is? They will peel up, and you'll have to sand and put another coat of epoxy. So I'm using, to seal this, I'm using CC DIY's Quick Coat. You can use Mod Podge. You can use just a flat a clear spray paint to seal it. And I am just going to put this where this striping tape is. It's not, and I'm going to do two coats, so it dries fairly quickly. It really doesn't take long to dry at all, but you want to seal these vinyl stripe tapes. And even if you're using you know, stripes that you've cut off with your Cricut or your Silhouette, you know, out of vinyl, you still, it's a good idea to go ahead and seal it, because like I said, it keeps the epoxy from getting up underneath. I'm also going to seal this vinyl at the bottom, because I don't want any epoxy getting up underneath there, and that has happened to me. And I have a bad feeling that it's going to, so I may have to put a stripe around that, or cut it a little bit shorter. But I will put two coats on this. So I'm going to let this dry, and then we will go in with our epoxy, and I'll take you over to my big turner when we do that part. So I will see you in a bit. Okay guys, we have our cup, and we are ready for the final coat of epoxy on there. All of our vinyl's been done. So I have some epoxy. I am doing a couple of other cups, so I had some mixed up. So what I did is we're going to take some Nikki's Signature sauce, and this is Golden Shower. This is a really, really pretty, make sure I don't have any epoxy on me. It's a really, really pretty gold. Very fine glitter. So I just took like two little scoops of it and put it in this cup. So I'm just going to take it and mix it into this epoxy, and it's going to give it a really, really pretty shimmer to this cup. And I chose gold because there is gold, you know, there's the colors in there that I wanted. So we're just going to mix that in really well real quick. And then that's really it. We'll get some epoxy on this cup, and we will be, once it's cured, it'll be done. And this cup I can also mark it as, you know, if anybody wants to customize it, we can always add a name to it. So we can always add a name and put another coat of epoxy on top. So a lot of my tumblers I like to do that with, just because, you know, a lot of people like their name on their cup. So, or a decal, you know, some people will want a certain decal on it. So I kind of like to Just leave room for that if I can. And again, I'm going to flip it off so I can do this handle. So I can, when you do the handles of these, you want to kind of get around this area because you don't want to leave goopy epoxy. It's just easier for me to do it if the turner is stopped, so. And it's turned out super sparkly and pretty, and make sure you get around that rim and get your bottom really well. And that quick coat will actually help to keep that epoxy from going underneath that vinyl. So, and I did have to go over a couple more spots with it just to make sure. But that's it. So I'm going to grab my torch real quick so we can get the air bubbles out of that. Because I just see a couple of little air bubbles in there. And see, we can put a name here. We could put a name, you know, right here. This little piece that's coming around. But that's it. I mean, that's as easy as it gets right there. So, whoops, sorry. So this will spin for, I just used regular epoxy in case I didn't tell you guys. I found out it's a certain epoxy I'm allergic to. So I can use my regular set. I cannot use quick set epoxy. It's so weird. I don't know what the deal is with that, but so this'll spin until of course you see me in my pajamas again. This'll spin until I get home tonight, and it should be dry, and then it'll set and cure. We'll get it on the website and let somebody put their name on it or a decal, whatever they want to do. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and again, like, comment, share, all that good stuff. And you can also follow me on TikTok at Glitterscapes Co. It's down in the description below. And also check the description, like I said, for some of the stuff that's we used to make this tumbler. But I try to put some tutorials on, some little quick tutorials on TikTok as well. So, and then Facebook is Glitterscapes Co. as well. So, but I hope you guys enjoyed. And we will be back next time with a new tutorial, and I will see you then. Bye!